What's up, everyone? You're listening to a new episode of Perseverance to Prevail podcast. I'm James.
I'm Leanna.
And after so much technical difficulty for like 3.5 hours, I think we finally got this right.
We have been battling some tech demons, that is for sure.
Yes, to bring it to the people. We want to keep this kind of lighthearted because, life can suck sometimes. So I thought it would be kind of cool to do questions and stuff.
Yeah.
I
am here for it.
Okay. We'll start off with
we're jumping in. Let's do it.
Yeah. Might as well.
Let's go.
What couples do you look up to the most or want your own life to look like?
Okay, so full, what's the word? Transparency. James has not asked me these questions ahead of time, so I get the joy of thinking on my feet.
Yeah, and I haven't pre-read these neither.
Oh boy, should be fun. I feel like I have to think about that. I mean, currently, I have been really enjoying listening to the To Be Better podcast, which is the Chris and Chris. They lead a traditional marriage, which is obviously, we're not married, and we don't live that lifestyle. However, I find a lot of value in their content, and I feel like I learn a lot about how to be a better partner, a better communicator. They just have so much love and respect for each other. And I just, as far as relationships go, I think that they are definitely something to aspire to. So I'm learning a lot from them right now. That's the most current relevant thing that I can think of.
Me personally, I don't look up to any couples. I mean, I don't have a couple. I don't think. I mean, as far as a guy, I don't know many guys that look at other couples. But if I did, I would have to take want and inspiration from probably Brandon and Angela, the people we know.
I knew you were going to say that. I was actually going to be as far as a couple that, a real life couple that's in our lives.
Yeah. Because the love for each other is amazing with them too. And they you can truly tell that they're meant to be together.
Yeah, for sure.
And if anything, I would hope that our relationship comes off like that.
Yeah. And I told Brandon when we went out of town a couple weekends ago to a Mad Monster convention, we were eating dinner afterwards, and he was talking about his wife, and I just looked at him and I was like, I love the way you talk about your wife. Anytime that we have hung out with Brandon and Angela wasn't there, he just talks so highly of her and just is just infatuated with his wife. And it's so and he's proud of it. And he does not care who hears him brag about his wife, his woman.
Yeah.
And I just think that's so sweet. And I don't know. It's rare, I think, that you find someone who talks about their partner like that, and it's special.
Yeah. No, 100%. They're the inspiring couple. Fuck your Angelina Jolie and shit like that. These are real people, and these are really real good people. Next fun question. What qualities are important to you in a partner, or what are qualities that people should be looking for in a partner?
That's a great question. I mean, I think,
I'll start off.
Okay. Thank you.
I think that the first thing is the person you're dating or in a relationship should be willing to give and take. Mm-hmm. If there's something you want to do and they necessarily don't like doing it, they're still, okay with you doing it. I mean, as long as it's, not doing drugs or drinking or,
causing harm to yourself or someone else.
Crazy shit. But I mean, if you like going out with your buddies and going to the movies or going to jiu-jitsu or, I don't know, bowling, say you're on a bowling team. Yeah, line dancing, like you. It's not my thing, but, if you want to go do it, go do it. Like, I don't think it's a good quality for someone to be like, well, you can't go because I don't want you to go, or it's a problem for you to go. Like, because you need those side moments and side things you need me time, and you should never give up your me time.
Okay. I think that's an interesting first quality that you picked. No, I agree with what you're saying. I think that it's important that you maintain your identity within a relationship, and you should be with a partner who encourages you to be who you are. But as far as a give and take thing, I think there are also times in a relationship where your partner might be into something that you're not necessarily into, but you know that they love and enjoy it. And there's some instances where it's a matter of they just go do that thing on their own, and then there's some instances where you join them, because it brings you joy to see them doing something that they enjoy.
Sure.
But I think for me, one of my top qualities that I think that is important in a partner is that there's really good communication and trust.
Communication is key.
Yeah. Because if you can't be a good communicator, then your relationship's it's not going to work.
Yeah. That's a good point. Good qualities in, partners? Yeah, what qualities are important in a partner? Trust, obviously. Mm-hmm. You got to have trust or you don't have anything.
I heard on a podcast one time, I don't know if it was the Chris's or if it was a different one I was listening to, but they were saying, whoever it was, I hate that I can't remember who I was listening to at the time, but they said that trust isn't something that's necessarily just given, it's something that's earned. So
yeah,
I think it's completely normal in the beginning stages of getting to know somebody that there's a little bit of a guard up until you kind of feel out if there's someone that is worthy of your trust.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just had never quite heard it said that way before. I thought that was really interesting.
I got a good quality.
Well, I was going to say, from a woman's perspective, something that is important to me is being with someone who's a good leader. Because women, inherently want to be led and be able to trust the man that's leading them.
Some women.
I
think quality is how your partner treats other people.
Mm-hmm. How do they treat the wait staff?
Yeah. How he or she talks about other people.
Mm-hmm.
If this person is just sitting there running down everybody in their life, that's a big red flag.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that would make me want to walk away real quick. Because if you talk about everybody in your life like that, you're probably saying something bad about me when I'm not around.
Yeah. Speaking of red flags,
that's actually the next question. If you let me go ahead and just ask it. What are red flags in a relationship?
I think a big red flag that happens usually within the first few dates, it usually happens pretty quickly, is if all of their exes are crazy and they're the problem and there's no accountability for their role in that.
Yes. If you don't take any accountability, then you're full of shit.
Yeah.
It takes two to tango.
And nobody's perfect. And you got to own up to your own shit.
Yeah. You as bad as my relationships have been, I've had very few choice words about my exes. Honestly. Between the conversations we've had, I don't sit there and blame them all the time.
No, you don't. You've been very open and transparent about your faults in the relationships too, and that was something that I saw as a green flag.
Yeah. Because I mean, cause you got to be like that. Because if you don't like try to look at the things you done wrong, you're doomed to repeat it. It's like if you don't know your past, you're doomed to repeat it in your future.
Yeah.
And that's how you grow and learn, people.
That's how you become better.
Yeah. Be better. Let's see. We're not going to talk about love language because, no offense, it's nobody's business.
Love languages.
Love language?
Yeah, like, so there's the 5.
Yeah, it said, what is your love language? Words of affirmation, physical touch, gifts, acts of service, kindness, quality time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think that anybody listening to this needs to know our love language.
Okay.
I think, if anything about that question, you should figure out your partner and what their love language is and try to figure out what works between you two.
Yeah.
To help your relationship.
I think that's a great point. Like, I mean, if we could just touch on that for a second.
Sure. I don't mind doing that.
Yeah. So, I think it's, if you're, say for example, you're someone whose love language is physical touch, but your partner's love language is acts of service. So for you to feel loved, you want, hand holding and hugs from behind and random kisses and, things like that. And so you might try to show your partner love in that way. And I mean, most people they like that type of thing in their relationship, but for them to feel loved, it's things like, taking their car for an oil change, or, that they have to work the next several days, making sure their uniforms are clean and ready. They feel loved when you do acts of service. So like they're not receiving love in the same way that you're trying to give it. So they may feel like you're not loving them well while you're sitting there like, but I'm loving you so well. I'm showing you love in all these ways, but it's the opposite of their love language, or maybe not opposite, but just different. So it's really important to learn your partner and what their love languages are so that you can love them well. But in turn, they should be doing the same for you.
Right.
Yeah.
100%. Because you can't start an electric car with gasoline.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a really good analogy.
Okay, so 2-part question. What do you enjoy most about dating, and what do you hate most about dating?
Ooh.
Man. So I think it's universal, like, what can be the most fun about dating is getting to know somebody. Like the stories, stuff you're into, that. Mm-hmm. But what I hate most about dating is that. It's the same thing, because when you're dating, it's like, it's the same questions over and over.
The same conversation.
What's your favorite color? What kind of movies do you like? What are you into?
What kind of food do you like?
Yeah. You adventurous? You like outdoors? You dog, cat? No. Shut up. Go away. I don't like nobody. I want to die alone. No. I think dating sucks, personally.
Yeah, I mean, it's vulnerable, putting yourself out there and getting to know somebody in fully aware that they could be just using you. I think that for me, that's one of the hardest parts of dating. Like, how much do you let them know, and how much of yourself do you give to them, knowing that their intentions may not be the same as yours? Because people can be really, really good liars and manipulators and make you think that
men and women.
Yes, I said people.
Oh,
I did not say men.
I was putting an emphasis on this for anybody that's listening.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we are not saying that just men are like that or just women like that, because they are both. They can both be that way.
No, women are better though. They're smarter. They don't get caught.
But yeah, I mean, people are really good at pretending that they are, like, for instance, looking for a relationship when really all they're wanting to do is mess around. And I think, like, most women, if you're just honest with them, that's going to get you so much further than if you lie and try to manipulate them into thinking that you want something that you don't.
Right. And I don't know. My algorithm on TikTok is obviously full of men. Yours is obviously full of women. Mm-hmm. And I see these guys reacting to the, I don't know what generation you want to call these women. I don't need a man. Body count doesn't matter. You need to make 6 figures, whatever the 666 rule is.
I haven't heard of that.
6 figures, 6 inches, 6 feet.
Yeah. I have not heard that.
Yeah, or 678 or 876, whatever. It's different ones, and God. And like I see these girls on TikTok, and I mean I know that there's girls out there, but I mean there's just as on the flip side, it's just as equal douchey guys out there that are looking to just smash and leave.
And pass.
Yeah. So I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I
just want to say,
I feel for people.
Yeah, I'll say, thank God we're not in that phase anymore, because
No.
I found my partner.
Yeah.
And I am happy.
Same. I couldn't do it. Like, bitches be tripping. And I mean that, men and women. So, would you be willing to go on a blind date? Why or why not?
Well, no, because I'm pagan. No, I'm just kidding. So hypothetically, if we were single, obviously, yeah, I totally would.
No.
Okay.
I've been scarred in the past.
I have actually never been on a blind date.
I went on one blind date, and it was in my youth. Probably, I don't know, I was probably 17, 18. Between that, almost 20 age. And, yeah. My buddy, who was going out with someone at the time that I hate, her name was Kat, of course.
We're
it was
dog
her
people.
It was her friend, and of course my friend at the time, Rob, wanted to, I guess, do couple things together because stupid shit. And he was like, yeah, man, she's beautiful, she's hot, she's gorgeous, you're gonna love her. And I'm sorry, but I do have standards. And this was a very large woman. Like, very large. Like 300 plus large. And I'm not attracted to that. It's just, not my thing. I wasn't attracted to her physically. She had the personality of a popsicle stick. We didn't, like, I was on the other end of the, like, spectrum compared to her, because she was, like, into this NSYNC, and
yeah, we're just opposites.
Yeah, just opposites. And
it scarred you for life. Apparently.
I made some rude comments towards her because she tried to eat light in front of me. She got like 3 chicken tenders, and I looked at her and I said, "Really? That's all you're gonna eat?" I was an asshole in my youth. I'm not justifying that. She tried to make out with me, and I was like, "I'm sorry. I'm just gonna have to pass."
Wow.
Yeah, it was not good. And that was the first and the last time I went on a blind date. And if you hear that, that's our babies, our fur babies in the background. And I'm not going to cut them out because They're a part of our lives. So, good luck on your blind dates in the future.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
I'm just joking. Let's see. What's next? When do you want to stop dating and settle down?
I was ready for that when I met you.
Yeah, I know, right?
No,
like I said, I didn't proofread these.
No, well, that actually is a.
Actually, you can flip it. Is when do you stop dating, or like when do you pick the point of wanting to settle down?
So, I will share a little bit about like our story. Well, from my perspective, when we first met, I had went through a divorce the year before, and at that point in my life, I was like, not looking. I was like, I don't think I'm ready for a relationship yet. But just kind of like meeting people, just kind of seeing how things went. And for those of you who don't know, James and I are one of the rare occasions that Tinder actually worked out. So I met my man.
So far, so good.
I met my man on Tinder. But I
thought she was fake. I thought she was a spam profile. I was like, there's no way.
You're sweet.
She was the real deal, though.
You're sweet, baby. But it's funny because when I matched with him, both of us had our settings set to like a certain mileage from where we lived. And at the time, I was living an hour and a half away, but I had gone to visit my friend who lived in like not very far from where he was at. So I was visiting her for the weekend, just happened to get on Tinder and was scrolling, came across this beautiful ginger man, and I was like,
lies.
Ooh, mama. So anyways, I swiped right, I think is what you had to do at the time. I don't even remember. Is it swipe right?
Yeah, swipe right.
Yeah. And we matched, and I was like, what?
Of course I swiped right.
No, I was like, I was genuinely like, oh, wow, like he thinks I'm cute. So we started talking and made plans to meet up, and he says that I ghosted him. I did not.
You did too.
I did
ghosted
not.
Me for like 2 weeks.
First of all, it was a week. Listen, Linda. First of all, it was a week from Christmas to New Year's.
It was like 2.5 weeks.
It was a week. Do I need to pull up the receipts because I got screenshots?
It's not like these people can see it.
I know. But you know what's funny? We have this conversation a lot, and we argue about this every single time because it was literally a week. And then I pull out my picture, and he's like, "Oh, well, still, you ghosted me."
Yeah,
but I caught COVID over Christmas from my nephew, and I did not speak with anybody. Did not get on social media for a good week. And then when I did, and we started chatting again and started talking more and more. It took us a long time to actually meet in person because I was very like, there was something about this man that I was like, if I meet, baby, I'm telling you. But I was like, if I meet him, I just have a feeling I'm really gonna like him. We had a lot in common. We had good chemistry and communication before even meeting each other. And then I was also there was a part of me that was kind of nervous that this seems really great, but what if we meet and then there's nothing? So I had both of those going on. But then I finally was like, you know what? I think I'm ready to meet you. And so February 6th, I finally met him. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, we just hit it off so freaking well and had so much in common. And the freaking way you made me feel was just nothing I had felt before. And wait, what was the original question? Why am what brought this up?
I don't know.
Oh, settling down.
Settling down. There you go.
Yeah. So, so when we met, I didn't think that I was ready to have a boyfriend, and then I met James, my James. I almost said your full name.
It's okay.
I met my James, and my whole body was like, yes. Everything about me was like, yes.
Do not believe that.
This one.
I mean, I don't know. I was definitely determined not to be in a relationship again, let alone settling down or, being with someone. I just got out of a a failed engagement. So one bad marriage, one failed engagement. And it was not looking bright for your kid over here. And got on, Tinder and all the other dating sites and, talked to several different people, went on several different dates. Some really bad dates. Oh my God. Women.
Women?
Women for me because
people, because men too.
Yeah. Men's can be douchebags. But honestly, I met you and you just won me over. I just knew that I wanted to be with you. Like, I felt like I could trust you. I felt like you were genuine. I felt like you were sweet. Excuse me. We had a lot in common.
Am I still sweet?
Of course you're still sweet. Even when I aggravate the shit out of you on purpose.
He thinks it's the funniest thing to make me mad and riled up.
It's like watching a fucking chihuahua, get mad and like chase its tail. You can't help but like, oh.
He says I look like Boo from Monsters, Inc.
You do. When she gets all flustered and throws her hands to her side. Yeah, that's definitely you.
No, I love that you say that though, because it was like, it felt like, for me, it felt like we had known each other forever, and like I just felt so safe and comfortable with you. But like it was like a weird, like I felt so comfortable, but also like so like electrified. Like it was like the perfect combination of like not just like the butterflies from the beginning stages of relationship, but also the safety net too. It was like that perfect combination.
Yeah, definitely agree. That's why things have lasted the way they are. So sorry, my nose is like running. So the last relationship question I'm going to ask is, have you changed because of your partner? Have you changed them? Follow-up question, what changed?
That's a great question. Actually, I'm really glad you asked that, because I have an answer for that. So, okay. So, me, like growing up, I've always been very much a people pleaser. Very, what's the word? Like, where you're like influenced by people, impressionable. Is that the right word?
Yes.
Very impressionable by people. I had this, like, because of childhood wounds, like I just really had this deep desire to just make everyone love me. Everyone has to like me. If they don't, then I'm a failure. So I would change a lot of like who I was to meet the people that I was interested in where they were. And so after I went through a divorce, I made a vow to myself that I would never do that again. I would never change who I am. So I was kind of like in this healing journey and rediscovering like who I am, what brings me joy because it brings me joy, not because it brings someone else joy. And since meeting you, you have empowered me to find myself and to allow myself to experience new things. And like, there's a lot of things that we have in common that were always a part of who I was, but I was never allowed to explore that before until you. Mm-hmm. And you helped me like open my eyes to a lot. And, like I try not to get emotional actually, because I just feel like I'm so much more of who I genuinely am as a person because you've given me this space to explore that. And you've never shamed me for being who I am. And that, like, I don't know. It means so much to me. I'm trying not to cry. Sorry.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, good. I mean, that's what I want to do. I want to lift you up. I don't want to tear you down. I mean, I've been there, done that my entire life. Have I changed? And if I did, what changed? That's a tough one. What changed is I truly believe that I could trust someone again. That's what changed for me, because I didn't believe in, loving someone. I didn't believe you could love someone, and to trust someone is to love someone. And I didn't believe I would ever get to that point. But with you, that changed. So, but I don't think you, to kind of piggyback off the question, I don't think you should ever change who you are for somebody. Mm-hmm. Because I did that in my marriage. That was wrong. I did that in my engagement. That was definitely wrong. Don't change who you are. Be who you are. Be with someone that accepts you for who you are. But while you're with that other person, accept them for who they are. Don't try to change them. You can, okay, I'll give you a scenario. So say you're into metal music and your partner is into country, but you want them to be more into metal music. So you can show them some bands that they might be, they might like or might be able to get into, but don't be upset if they don't. But it's not going to kill you to go see Jason Aldean with them. But on the flip side, if you want to go see, I don't know, Fit for an Autopsy or some shit or a Cannibal Corpse or a metal band, they got to be willing to go with you, tit for tat.
That's what I was saying earlier. There's compromise there.
There should be compromise, but there shouldn't be a change, And you shouldn't want them to change anyway. You should love them for who they are. Absolutely.
But I also think that's to expand on that a little bit. I think people are always changing. So I mean, gosh, I am not the same person I was even a year ago, much less 10 years ago. That's a completely different person. I don't know her anymore. And I think that's one of the really cool things about being in a relationship is that you get to, it's almost like you get to relearn your partner all the time and learn new ways to love them.
Yeah, that's true. And there's nothing wrong with growing together and changing. But you also need to be aware that, people do change, mm-hmm. Throughout life and stuff like that. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. Are you ready for some friendship questions?
Sure.
Okay, I wasn't ready.
You wasn't ready.
What do you think friendship means?
Friendship. Gosh. I feel like friendship is such an essential part of life. It's a support team of, similar to a partner, but it's someone who loves you and accepts you for who you are, who has your back, who will support you when you're making bad decisions, but also call you out on it in a loving way. Friendship is just, it's support.
Yeah.
It's essential.
I think it means family.
Yeah.
For me. My friends are my family. Because I don't have much family. Mm-hmm. I know that if I really need my friends, I can call them.
Yeah, and that's so important in choosing friends that will be there, and vice versa, you will be there for them.
And trust is probably the best way I can break it down. Trust is what friendship means to me, because I trust these guys to be honest with me. I trust these guys to be straight with me. I trust these guys with my life. Like, I don't think that they would sit there and stab me in the back. None of them. And if you don't have people like that in your life and you have the slightest doubt, you don't have a friend.
Yep. You need to reevaluate
like
who you're putting your trust
if this is to the guys, if you say, yeah, such and such is my buddy, but I definitely wouldn't leave my girl around him, that's not your fucking friend.
No.
Like, any of my friends, I could leave you in a room with all day and would be fine.
Hell, one of your friends is our roommate.
Yeah, technically. But yeah. Let's see. How do you think a healthy friendship should look like?
That's a good question because, well, what I mean is I actually have to think about that a little bit because I think I have friends in my life that I talk to almost every day, and I have friends that I talk to once every month or two, and I consider them both like my dearest friends.
I can break it down.
Okay.
A healthy friendship should be nothing but support and positivity.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, I love that.
I mean, that's it. Support when you need it, positivity and reassurance to back you up in something you when you need things, and to be real with you.
Yeah.
I mean, anything other than that, if they bring drama or upset you, like, for no reason, they're not your friend. You need to get rid of them. They're a cancer in your life. Mm-hmm. Period. That's just my quick take on it.
No, I love that because, like, the friend that I'm talking about, that we don't talk as often as I would like because life is crazy. But I know if I called her right now and said, "I need you, this is going on," she would drop what she is doing and come running. And she would just be there to support me and love me, and vice versa. Like, I would drop everything and run to her if she needed me. But it's also like it's in the big things and the little things. So
yeah,
yeah. I mean, but I think there's something beautiful about those kind of friendships where like they stand the test of time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it really doesn't matter how long you've gone without talking. You pick up like there's been no time missed.
How do you make new friends? Well, I don't like making new friends at this point in my life.
I don't want that.
No offense to anyone out there. I've got this core group of guys in my life. I don't need any other friends. But to give advice to someone that might be listening, I would try going to things that you like and associating with people there would be a good start. So if you like going to concerts, go to your favorite band's concert. I know it's kind of hard to talk to random people because you don't want to be labeled that creepy girl or guy. But you could try to break the ice. That'd probably be the best way.
I mean, I think about, like, one of the first concerts you and I ever went to, I was in the bathroom, and I was washing my hands, and the girl beside me complimented my necklace or something, and I complimented her hair. She's like, "Oh, actually, I'm a hairdresser." I'm like, "No way, me too." And so we just kind of hit it off and started talking for a minute and exchanged Instagrams, and we, still like each other's stuff to this day.
Right.
And that was, a year ago.
If you don't want to be a weird guy, I'd be like, tell him how cool his shirt is. Like, if it's an Iron Maiden shirt, I suggest you know your shit, just in case. But be like, "Oh, Iron Maiden's in my top 5 all-time favorite bands. What's your favorite album by 'em?" or something like that.
Yeah.
But suggestion is to go to places that you would have a common ground with somebody.
Yeah.
That way, in the future, like, you can build from there.
Yeah.
You've got something that you can do with that person. That would be my recommendation. I don't believe in being friends really with people you work with. It doesn't work. I know what you're thinking, Hayes. He's a buddy, but like, you realize, like, I haven't hung out with him since the academy, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of those things.
Yeah, I mean, friendships in the workplace can cause some issues, but I also think sometimes it's nice to have like a support who like I know you guys talk about prison stuff that I would know nothing about it, and you can talk to him in a different way and like vent about some things that that I wouldn't really understand because I'm not in that world.
Yeah, I wouldn't want you to be in that world. But yeah, that's just, my advice on that. Let me see. What's a good one?
I need a blankie. I'm cold.
Who are your best friends and why?
Ooh, I don't want to answer this because if I don't mention someone, I don't want anyone to get offended. I'm blessed. I am a people person and I have a lot of friends, but some of my absolute closest friends are Carly, Brandy, and Angel.
See, I'm cheesy. All my friends are my best friends in some way, shape, and form.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I sat here and listed all of my I'm like I said, I'm so blessed. I have some amazing friends. And I don't like to label anyone as my number one top best friend.
Yeah.
Because I believe that our hearts are fully capable of loving multiple people and having multiple really close friendships. And some friends bring friendship in different ways than other friends, and neither of that is less or more than the other, if that makes any, or less valuable than another one, just because it's different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, people that I know I can count on, I know love me for exactly who I am, will always have my back. I can't imagine my life without them. It's those three girls.
Oh, it's all my boys.
Boys.
The whole Dodd Club. Y'all know who y'all are.
Mm-hmm.
But it's enough people I can count on one hand. Which leads me to my next question. It says, what do you think about the phrase, you're the sum of 5 people you spend the most time with?
I 100% agree with that. I mean, we've talked about that a little bit in the podcast in previous episodes about you become who you surround yourself with. And
if that's the case, I'm amazing because the people in my life are spectacular and amazing.
You are amazing, baby.
I don't know about that. But the people that I surround myself with are very great people.
Yeah,
Brandon, Casey, Todd, Jeff, John. I feel like Terry. Sorry. Terry's in and out. He's like an asshole. But he's not an asshole. He's the most humble, nice, down-to-earth guy ever. Doesn't really have a bad thing to say about anybody.
No, he's so kind.
Yeah. Just great people. But, I made a choice, just like they made a choice to have me in their lives, to surround myself with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very grateful for all of them because they helped me get, they were very real to me and told me to go get my shit together when I was going through a dark period in my life. And I'm glad because I got my shit together. And that situation helped me become who I am today. when do you think it's time to move on from a friendship since it feels one's needed?
What?
So when do you think you should end a friendship? To me, it's easy. Very easy. If this person, once again, is bringing you down and not lifting you up, you need to cut ties. Like, you need somebody in your life that's going to lift you up when you need it, support you on your bad days, tell you to get your shit together when you don't have your shit together, and tell you when you're being an asshole when you're being an asshole. That's a friend. Now, if this person is constantly all about, like, them, like every time you talk to them, it's not how interested they are in you, it's, hey, listen to me, and they cut you off and then always bring the subject back around to them, they got to go. Because their heart is only in it for them.
Yeah.
Like, they could care less about you.
And I'll say, like, for me, I have had some friendships in my life that I've had to end or were ended abruptly. And I think that's really tough, like, because you became friends with that person for a reason, right? And there's, like, a love that grows there. I mean, I've had some friendships end that felt like a breakup. Like, I mourned them almost like a breakup. But I will say from all of those friendships, like, people that aren't in my life anymore, I see now why, and I'm better because of it, and I've learned from it, and it sucks to go through that. It sucks to have to, like, I don't know, cut someone out of your life. But sometimes it's necessary.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if it's going to better you as a person and make your life better and put you back on track. It sucks, but you got to do it. I mean, I've had to do it before. It's not an easy situation. And it doesn't get any easier. But, let's see. Closing questions. What can people expect from us next?
Well, I mean, do we want to talk about the series that we're going to be going into?
Yeah, why not?
Awesome. So, it's funny, we were actually originally going to start this podcast with that we're recording currently with the first episode of this series that we're going into. But, we talk about being raw and real, and today was just not an awesome mental health day for me, and I didn't feel quite ready for that, so I needed a little bit more time. But our hope with the podcast is to help inspire and encourage people to be the best version of themselves and to grow and become stronger and to help them face whatever challenges life brings their way. And in saying that, we are fully aware that life can be really hard. And so we are going to be opening up about some of the dark parts of life.
Yep.
So our next series is going to be called Dark Days. And each podcast episode is going to cover different topics. So in our next episode, we will be talking about body dysmorphia.
Yep. Boy, that one's going to suck. I'm not going to even try to touch on that. I think 98% of people go through.
Yeah.
But don't mention it. And I'm talking to you, Lizzo. I know she has body dysmorphia. I don't want it. I hate this fucking I'm big and proud shit, because she's going to be one of these women that loses all this weight, just like Adele. Adele was all about being big and everything to the public, and then she disappears for like a year, and then she comes back and she's a skinny mini. And then the articles come out that she wasn't happy. She wanted to change. She wanted to physically be happy when she looked into the mirror. Mm-hmm. Because she has body dysmorphia.
Yeah. There's so much I want to say, but we will save it for the next episode.
Yes. If you had the attention of the whole world for 5 minutes, what would you say?
Whoa. I wasn't expecting that. Oh.
We're going to end on a big note today.
I had the attention of the world. Did you say for 5 minutes?
For 5 minutes. That's a long time.
That is a long time. I mean, I think, like, one of the first things that comes to mind is, like, just be kind. Like, we're all going through it, man, and you don't know what the person next to you is going through. Kindness goes a long way.
Yes. If I had the world's attention for 5 minutes, I would tell them to pull their heads out of their asses.
Oh, that's such a James thing to say.
I would. I would tell everybody to not pay attention to mainstream media. Don't believe anything you read and half of what you see.
Question everything.
Question everything. And love everyone. Like, if you're racist, I mean, you can't change some people, but if I can have your ear and tell you that this shit that the mainstream media sells you is not true, most of it, and sway you to open your eyes and put this racism and bigotry and negativity behind you and love everyone else, it would be a better world.
Yeah.
That's what I would want in 5 minutes. So what is the last thing you want to leave on this podcast? Like, what do you want to send off to the listeners with?
I keep getting put in the hot seat tonight.
Yeah? I mean, this is what happens when you leave the questions up to me.
Oh, I'm leading the questions next time. Yeah. So, I mean, I'll just kind of piggyback off of what I just said. Just be kind. Love your neighbor. Love the stranger on the street that you walk next to. Pay someone a random compliment, because you don't know what kind of ripple effect that's going to have. And I guarantee you that it's going to have a positive one. So be better. Do better. Be sweet. Be kind.
Be sweet.
Be sweet.
There you go. Be sweet. She tells me that all the time.
Be sweet.
If anybody's listening, pull your head out of your ass. No, but seriously, put your hatred aside. Put your negativity aside. I know this world is a very dark, gloomy place, and I'm not going to quote Rocky, but it can get to the point where you're just blending in with the worst of the worst because you've been consumed. Mm-hmm. So don't get consumed with the world. Separate yourself from the world. Be the best version of you.
And I want to piggyback off that and something we touched on earlier. If you feel like you don't know who you are right now, start exploring that and just be authentic to you, and don't let that any outside influence change who you are.
Right.
Find your joy, find your passion, find what makes you happy, and pursue that with so much passion and integrity that like nobody else can sway you away from who you are.
Right. But be aware that some things that you're into, not everybody else is going to be into.
And that's okay.
And it's okay.
Can you imagine how boring the world would be if we were all exactly the same?
Exactly. But just be aware, people might hate some of the things you do, but it just comes with life. You're not going to make everybody happy, and you shouldn't try to make anybody happy except for yourself.
Yeah.
But on that note, I think it's a pretty good way to end the episode.
Yeah.
Well, I'm James.
I'm Leanna.
Be good. Be safe. Be the best version of you that you can be. Thank you for listening to Perseverance to Prevail podcast.